charge today. SWD, that's the recording, and that takes a picture. Now we're just in normal mode for the moment. So normal mode basically is going to keep rising on you because of the sprung stick, only ever so slightly, but it needs holding down basically to hover ever so slightly. Now we'll click it into GPS. Looks like we've got a little bit of a lean on the camera. Hey up. I clicked the monitor. I pushed the monitor back onto the switch there, and it clicked it out of GPS. Let's take that back. Okay. Now, I didn't try GPS return to home before, so let's give that a little go. Click SWB down to the 3 position. Apparently. So it's rising. Okay, it's stopped rising. Presumably it's going to come back to the home spot now. Yep. It's pitched quite hard then, but yep, it's doing the job. I'm still not putting any inputs in. You want to come down now, mate? Hello? Okay, there we go. So it comes back the way that it's actually facing. It doesn't turn around or anything, quite like that. It's still not exactly super close to where it took off, but let's see if it actually lands okay on an uneven surface. No inputs. Okay. Can't really complain about that. Let's try that again. We'll put it dead on this line in front of that leaf. Take it out of GPS hold mode. So let's leave it facing away this time. See how it does. Okay. So again, no inputs, it's coming back. Oh no, it's rising, sorry, it's not quite coming back yet. There we are. It pitches fairly heavy forwards, like coming back. So that's still overshot quite a bit, really. No inputs from me, just going to let that one land. Okay, so while the GPS hold is pretty damn impressive, the return to home is a good few meters off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 or 8 meters off, maybe 10. Okay, did okay slanting the other way, so let's count the paces to that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 strides away. It's not that impressive. Okay, I've got it in GPS mode now. Just going to see if it drifts around a bit like the return to home's got a bit of variance on it. Let's try and straighten that camera up. So I'm leaning left. Let's push it right a bit. No. Left pushes it right, right pushes it left. Okay. There we go. I'm not sure if you can see that on screen. I'll put the DVR on as well. It's having a bit of a drift. It's still better than my NASA, just not as good as some of the more high-priced GPS setups. Certainly for me so far. Let's actually... Oh. Straighten up the picture again. I'm not sure what happened there. Seems to want to keep going after it gets to the center point. So it's moving around a bit. I mean, it's good enough to learn on, but it doesn't seem quite as impressive as the other day. Let's actually try and fly some FPV with this thing. Alright, that frame rate's terrible. Yeah, I'm not impressed with that frame rate at all. So, while you'll be able to see what's going on, it's not exactly a great experience for FPV. If I had some 5.8 GHz stuff on the bottom of it, that would be fine. So I might well mod that, because that's pretty useless as it is. Well, useless is a strong word, but use for FPV, extremely limited. Okay. Now, SWC, if I press that, okay, so the follow me mode works pretty much like the Hubsan. Doesn't look like it's going to yaw. It does yaw. Wow. Nice work. I'm quite impressed if it yaws, because that's one thing the Hubsan definitely doesn't do. Let's try and confuse it. Not bad, not bad. I'm not sure it's the safest if it's going to chase you down like that. Okay, so SWC to get out of that, and we're back out. So let's go SWA into the second mode. Now I believe I'll put it into GPS high. Whoa. No. Don't totally understand what it did there. Guess that's a bit worrying. Okay. Interesting. So the circle mode's a bit like the chase, except that actually circled the opposite way I would expect it to circle. basically it's in GPS mode, and the second switch, SWA, is down to the second position, and then you actually start the circle. Basically you start aileron and yawing round. Once I'd completed a circle, I could feel it kind of took over from me, but then it stopped and went the other way. So while that circle mode does work, I think I probably need to understand it a little bit more first. Let's go and stand in the middle of it. It's probably not wide enough to get me. Let's bring it down. Okay, so you've still got height control. See, with 5.8 on there, or a decent camera, that's really useful. Okay, let's see if we can make it circle the other way. That's just GPS hold. Okay, put it back into circle mode. And I'm going to go right. Okay, now I'm going to let go. And it goes left. Interesting. So what happens now if I press the follow me while it's circling? Okay, that's a shame. It's kind of what I expected, but I was hoping it would circle me and follow me as I was moving around. A little bit too much to ask, maybe. So we're going to bring this one in now because it's flashing at me. Oh, actually the eyes are allowed to flash. And last but not least, headless mode. So basically, forward's going to go... Oh my goodness. Okay. Forwards is that way. Forwards is still that way. So this does work. Oh my goodness. It does work as a headless mode, but it doesn't want to face any way apart from that. Yeah. Let's just try that again then. So if we put it where we want to face it and then click headless mode in. No. Okay. Let's try that one more time. I'm going to take it out of GPS mode. Turn it where I want it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Out of GPS mode. Turn it where I want it. Put it in... It's turning around on me. That's in GPS mode now. Then we put it in headless mode. Now forwards is forwards, backwards is backwards, left and right. And if I turn that to face myself, is forward still going to go? Forwards, yes. So headless mode does work. It feels like it's got a bit of left-right drift on it. It's not like super accurate, but it does work. It'll bring you back home. I guess if you wanted to not do a return to home version, but I don't like it at all. So we're going to go back into normal mode. Okay, there we go. Finally a battery warning. So, GPS wasn't quite as amazing as yesterday, but it's certainly good enough. I'm fairly impressed with that. Fairly impressed. The battery life on this screen isn't stellar. and this button tends to slip up if you stick it in a bag and it can move around or anything, and that can drain the screen, so you only really get a couple of flights worth on the screen. Range doesn't seem that stellar, and the frame rate's terrible. It's about 20 frames a second, if that. Certainly on this screen. I'm not sure if the DVR is going to be better. If it is, then it's probably flyable, but I'm guessing it's not any better on the DVR. I'm looking forward to giving this a few people who have never flown before, and see how well they deal with it. So Dad, Dave, bunch of others, you're all in on this one. Okay. Now, I've been up to this cluster of trees twice. I had a really aggressive flight round here, and even had a little crash over there, but I turned out I didn't actually press record on the run cam. No damage or anything, didn't even ding a prop, but it was quite a nice flight. Really enjoyed myself around there. It actually does fly quite nicely, and the first time I tried it up here, the GPS was absolutely spot on. Like, couldn't fault it at all. Did a couple of GPS homes, but it wasn't for very far, you know, maybe 30, 40 meters away at most. And it didn't really get a lot of speed up, but it would pinpoint the GPS hold. I've noticed if you take it further and it gets some speed up, because it banks heavily, as far as it can, get some speed up, it'll drift past the GPS spot. So I need to try that a little bit more and see if I can get any actual footage flying around these trees this time. I also had a fail with this camera. It seems very sensitive to the cleanliness of signal, and that's something I can put it down to, because if I attach this straight to a battery, it's totally fine. If I attach it to a battery that is powering some motors, it won't stay on. I had the same problem with the Walkera Rodeo. This was strapped to it a couple of times, and in the little S-bus socket, that's powering it out of 5 volts at the back there, and it powered on and it would record, but as soon as you start up, it wasn't recording the flight. So I had that same issue with this one as well. So it wasn't a Rodeo, it's this camera. It doesn't like a dirty signal. If you power it from a beck, like directly from a beck, then it's fine. It seems to record okay. So we'll have an attempt at trying to fly around here with some actual footage. I'll start off with a little tiny bit of up tilt and have a gentle one. Now I've also modded it for an external battery. There's a hole there already, so I've just wired up a couple of connectors to inside, and I've got an XT60 and a JST there. And I'm using I think it's a 1600 mAh 2S battery. I've just made it from a couple of old cells that I had. Okay, I've got an external battery, a 3S 450 mAh powering the FPV gear, just because I've only got a 3S balance connector powering that beck for it, so I can only run it off 3S at the moment. Okay, we are recording. Okay, a few wobbles to the wind. It's less than perfect today. It seems to be fairly good with a slow yaw. Let's come in, make sure we're actually recording. Yep, we've still got a flashing light. It's a miracle. So it feels a little bit heavier than stock, probably mainly because of that extra battery and twice the size of stock battery as well. Okay, we're back in GPS mode for the moment. Okay. And still recording. There's a meter or two of drift, but it's pretty reliable. Okay. Come on, little fella. There we go. So, nice and reliable return to home. See if we can actually land alright on a slightly uneven surface as well. Very nice, very nice. I'm really impressed with this one. For the money, it's some cracking value. And while the GPS hold isn't flawless, it's certainly good enough. I spent months trying to get a NASA light to work anywhere near as good as that and failed. So out of the box with the simple calibration, I call that a stonker. This is going to make a lot of new pilots really happy. It'll be interesting to give this a few people who haven't flown before or barely flown and see how they deal with it. It's a shame it hasn't got a rate mode, but I seem to be saying that about just about every quad that isn't beta fighting clean flight these days. It's so easy to implement, yet it's omitted out of so much. If you're looking for a reliable GPS quad to learn how to fly on with the security of a GPS home and self-leveling, I don't think there's anything cheaper than this right now. And learning to fly on it isn't out of the question either. There's no rate mode, so it's going to limit that a little bit, but by the time you've outgrown this, you are absolutely ready for rate mode. If you're flying circuits with this, then yeah, you're ready. So Dad, let's see if you can break this one.